Hello friends, welcome back for the second session of Kubernetes, and let's kick it off. So yesterday, right, we have discussed about the Kubernetes architecture, and today, and as well as we also deployed using the kops. Today what we are going to do is we're going to deploy some individual machines in AWS, like mostly Ubuntu, and we're going to configure cluster on that one actually using kubadmin. Okay, I know I need to explain about the Docker, but I want to show you how you can, because since we have an exposure with the kops yesterday, right? I want to show you how you can do that by native tool of Kubernetes, which is kubadmin. Okay, so we're going to kubeadm, actually not kubadmin, it's a kubeadm. So what we're going to do is we're going to deploy 3 servers. Okay, 3 servers, and we're going to bootstrap that 3 into Ubuntu. I'd say like T2 small servers, by the way, and then we're going to bootstrap them, and then we're going to install from the scratch using the kubeadm. We're going to get a Kubernetes cluster basically up and running. So apart from that, you also can use a minikube, which is for testing purposes, like if you want to use like a sample setup. But I really don't recommend minikube because a lot of the features are not available on minikube. At least you can use kubeadm as well as kops, both are fine. Okay, so once we install this kubeadm, then it's a lot of manual process which we're going to do, installation as well as like creating a networks and everything, running the pods and everything. And later I'm going to explain about the Docker or Docker file and everything, what we are going to use, the images, everything in the Kubernetes basically. Okay, good. So first things first, let me log into a separate account, which is AWS account, which I'm going to use for this lab actually. So I'm going to my account. So it's CK, this is the account. So what I'm going to do is, let me go to EC2, by the way. And this is the thing which we used yesterday. Anyway, I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to launch an instance. But before even going, right, I want to get you the steps actually. Just give me 1 minute. Let me get you the steps which we're going to do that one. Let me copy from my notes. 1 minute. I'm going to share the notes with you, so don't worry. Where is this cube? I'm doing from my laptop, so you won't be able to see that. So give me 1 minute. Okay, so okay, so I'm going to open Notepad++ and okay. First thing first, okay, so we're going to deploy a machine which is a single machine, and we're going to do this bootstrapping with this one. If you see, we're going to install the Docker, by the way, and we're going to install all these requirements, because you need to understand what is the manual steps you need to do in order to get your Kubernetes cluster using the kubeadm. And after that, we're going to run update, and we're going to install these 3: kubelet, kubadmin, and kubectl. And then what we're going to do, we're going to use this one. Hold, I need to check into what is this app mark actually. And then we're going to initiate something like this. But one thing I need to do is I need to do something called as a swap off actually. Okay, and I think -a, I think so. You need to do that. And after that, we're going to create a network. Pod network means nothing but the containers network which you're going to use. And then what we're going to do is, it's not required, we're going to get this one, and then I'm going to get the kube config, and then I'm going to talk to the cluster. So you understand step by step. So let's do one thing. Let's set up a window, Ubuntu server, by the way. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take 1804, select this, and let's use a T2 small. T2 micro also will do the job, but I want to be a little faster. So you can use the T2 micro, by the way, and you can choose your VPC, and subnet 1 is fine basically. So I'm going to put everything in the same subnet. Now what I'm going to do here is, I can put all the commands here in the bootstrap, but I want to execute manually and show it to you. So add storage, You can do the same steps even in your laptop building virtual machines, or even in Azure as well, or GCP as well, by the way. So I'm going to go here. So name, I'm going to say like master. Okay, I'm going to say master, or I simply say like K master 01, Kubernetes master 01, and I have all the ports open, review and launch it. So once it launches, right, so we're going to log in and we start with these commands actually. Okay, so control plane commands until I'm able to get here. Actually I'm able to get here something called as a nodes, because we also going to install a network, because you'll see like it is in the not ready status, because kubedns won't start working until I have the network up and running. So cops will do automatically all these things, so we have less work actually. Okay, server is up and running, by the way. So let's try to connect this. So username will be Ubuntu, and what we're going to do is we're going to open this. Okay, done. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to use something like swap of -a. So what happened? Hmm, what happened? Okay, let's see. So let's sorry. Anyway, so let's first install the Docker, by the way. So it is, if you remove the curl, right, if I remove the curl, this is a script which will give the shell script or bash shell, which will install completely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give colon and put the bash. What it is going to do is it is going to install the Docker, by the way. Most probably it is going to install Docker 1903. That is the latest version, 1903.13, I think. So it will install the Docker. Once the Docker is installed, okay, once the Docker is installed, what you can do is you can actually implement until here. Basically what you can do, you can actually implement here or until here. And what you can do, you can actually create an image out of this one, and you can actually deploy multiple machines, by the way, from that one. But we don't do that, but I want to tell you that because everything is installed, because all these things are also required on the, if you go to worker node, even it is also required on the worker node also. That's why. Okay, let's see. So it's installing Docker CE Community Edition, by the way. They have also have an Enterprise Edition as well, which requires the license. I think Docker has sold their business to Mirantis, which is doing things on OpenStack, by the way. So let's see. Once it is installed, we're going to do the basic bootstrapping. First, we'll verify whether Docker is properly installed or not, and then we're going to check it out. The network is installed, and we'll see like whether Docker commands are installed. So you can see it is installed Docker engine. So what I can do is I'll say like Docker version, by the way, and we can see it is 1903 Docker. Okay, so Docker installation is done. Now, next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to install sudo apt-get update sudo some https transport and curl. So let's install this. Curl should be always there. It should be always there. There's no need to install. Okay, done. Now you have something like this. Add the GPG key. Okay, and finally we actually add something in a file actually here, Debian. Now I need to perform again sudo apt update, and then we're going to install these three. So let's perform an apt update first. So because we added the repositories, right, so I should go and check it out, the packages. Done. Now what we're going to do is see sudo apt get install -y kubelet kubeadm and kubectl. Okay, it's getting installed. Hold on. Okay, it is done. But what is the how I can say, like I say like I say kubectl, it is there. Okay. It is there. It is auto filling, right? If I say like Cube ADM, it is there. Okay, good. And I also do something, run this one. Done. That means no, I think it won't upgrade anything. Is it a one word actually? Swap off. It's one word, I
Double
think
it,
so.
double it.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, it's one word. Swap off is one word. Okay. I was giving two words. Actually, it's one word. Okay. So now I have the basic things required for my cluster ready. Now what I want to do is I want to convert this into an image actually. So what I'm going to do, let me go here. I'm going to right click image. I'm going to create image. I'm going to say like K8s nodes, or simply I'm going to say simply nodes actually, nodes. Okay. So what will happen when you create, I don't require a reboot. I'm going to check that because normally when you create a AMI, it will create rebooted. So I'm going to click on OK. So what will happen is it is actually at the back end, it is going to create a image, whatever we are going to use, right? It is going to create image. So from this, because I don't need to repeat all these steps now. Okay, it's already there. So directly what I can do, I can directly start working on it. Okay. Now going back here. So what we're going to do is, first things first, what we're going to do, since we're going to consider this as a master, right? So what I'm going to do here is, let's go ahead and run this one. Cube ADM init pod network and 192.168.0.0/16. Yeah. So if it's a pod network, containers are going to use this network, by the way. And I'm going to go here, run it and hit enter. So what it is doing, it is saying, this is the problem. I actually forgot. See, you need to have two CPUs, guys. I was mad. I forgot that one. See, anyway, it is saying the number of CPUs available is one. So you should have required is two. That's a problem. It's okay. It's not an issue. So in order to use the CPUs, what you're supposed to do, you need to shut down this machine. It's fine. I'll go to this one. What I can do, I can basically right click, or I can do one thing. Meanwhile, if the AMI is getting ready, by the way, let's do one thing. Let's get the AMI ready. Once the AMI get ready, I'm going to delete this machine, by the way. I'm going to delete this machine, and from the AMI, I'm going to basically deploy it. Okay, from the AMI, I'm going to deploy it. So let's hold on. So what will happen anyway, I need to basically shut down this machine, because in AWS you can't really directly go and change the instance type, by the way. First you need to stop the machine and then change it. Or let's do that. What is the big deal? Let's stop it. So the problem is you don't have two CPU and two CPU and 2 GB RAM. You need to go for T2 medium actually. There only you're going to get you're going to get like a 2 CPU, or there is a new one, a new family, which is like T3, I think so, where they'll give 2 CPU and 2 GB RAM. We'll see. Let it stop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, or if you're not sure, you can go here. I'm going to say like visit T2. If I go to T2 medium, then it will give you basically 2 CPU and 4 GB. I'll upgrade it to T2. But what will have, there is something called T3 as well. For example, if I go to T3 small, so you get 2 CPU again here, 2 GB RAM. Let's do one thing. Let's try to make it to T3 small and say right now we are in T2 small, right? So I'm going to select this, right click, instance settings, change instance type, by the way, and I'm going to say T3 small and apply. It is changed, right? It's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire it up. So start. But one thing we need to observe here is the swap off, right? When you restart it, it will come back basically. So what you need to do is you need to put in a FS tab actually. So I'll say like swap off. Okay, I'll say like FS tab. So what will happen? So normally when you perform the swap off with the table, right? So what will happen when you basically reboot, because after the reboot swap turns back off in. So what you notice, Okay, see, as far as I know, the swap is for Hibern, just saying. Okay, so what we can do is we can basically disable it, actually add this line swap is this one, but there is somewhere where we can actually go to the FS tab, by the way, and we can actually disable that as well. Okay, you need to go and give FS, that can be done actually. Yeah, anyway, so let me, I'll show you the error you're going to get. Okay, now if I try to run the command again, it is going to give you an error. Check it out. If I'm going, because swap will become on by the time if you reboot it. If I try to do this, hmm, okay, good. It looks like it didn't came up. I thought I was expecting an error basically for the swap off actually, but it didn't came up. So what it is doing is, if you see, kubeadm cannot validate components. Okay, detected group FS as a group, and see, it started, guys. Good. Now it is pulling the images and it is creating the appropriate certificates basically, and it's a time taking procedure, by the way. It won't happen so fast, but what will happen is it is going to deploy all the, say this one, it is saying that, but here is the important, the token. I'm going to copy this and keep it aside for the later use. So okay. Okay, so what it is saying, it is done. So, and more importantly, you need to use this to have the kube config. We have a long discussion about the kube config. I'm going to use this, by the way. Okay, good. Now I'm going to say kubectl get pods. Obviously it is not going to show anything in the default namespace because nothing is there. So first thing what you need to do is, if you say kubectl get pods hyphen a, it is going to show all the management pods, and you can see like control manager, proxy, scheduler, API server, etcd, everything is running apart from core DNS. So I mean, I'm still yet to come, the control manager is yet to come, and scheduler. But if I go to pods, say slowly this will also come up slowly. All these are actually containers. Now these two, the core DNS which provides the DNS services, will not come up as soon as possible, because we can check it out. We can wait and check it out. So finally what will happen, this will also come. See, it also came, scheduler came, and finally the control manager should also come in. So we'll verify. See, everything is up. All the four, all the containers are up and running, but apart from these two, because you should have, so one is expected, yes, one is there basically. That's what expected, one. So everything is ready apart from these two. So this core DNS requires the network plugin. So there are different network plugins which we're going to talk later, but the one which we are going to use is Calico, or Calico. We're going to use this one. We're going to execute this. This will create some this is going to execute some commands, and it's going to create a network basically. These are all called custom resource definitions. So it was been, we don't need to go and check it out all these things. It's basically we enable the Calico related network plugins. Now if I go to kubectl get pods hyphen a, this time we'll see some additional pods, especially which is related to Calico actually. Okay, now the point is, this is still coming. Once the Calico pods can come, it's a network plugin, guys, don't worry, we're going to talk later. So but after some time that Calico will come up, and you can see the whole DNS is comes up basically. So we are good, as you can see right now. So our whole cluster is good actually. So I'll say like kubectl cluster hyphen info. So it is saying, so right now the Kubernetes master is running on 10.10.144.633, and you can see kube DNS is running somewhere like this actually. Okay, so we have our master. If I say kube, see, it's very harder to type the all this kubectl everything. I'll do one thing. I'm going to say alias ku is equal to kubectl, or simply if you're more lazy than me, simply you can say like, say k get pods. You'll get something like, like this. Now one thing you need to understand here, even if you add an alias here, right, once you log out and log in back, for example, let me show you. Okay, exit, right, and I go to sudo su hyphen, right, I'll say like k get pods, right, so say k not found. Okay, the reason is it's there only in the memory. So that's why what you're supposed to is, for example, I'll go here, what you're supposed to do, you can add in the bash rc, by the way, bash rc. I'll say like alias, you'll get some aliases actually here. See, okay, I'm going to go alias k is equal something. Now I'm going to exit it again, I'm going to go back, I'll say k get pods hyphen a, and I get it. See, good. So hereafter it will be k, not kubectl. Okay. Okay, so now I have my master is up and running. Okay, now what I want is, if I say k get nodes, right, if you see, you're going to see like you have only one, which is a master node, which is basically up and running. What else you need to have? See, by default you can't really deploy anything on the master. So for example, k run I'll say like pod one hyphen 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 image is equal to nginx. Okay, so the pod one is created, say like ku get, sorry, k get pods. You can see pod is pending, by the way. Okay, it doesn't matter how many times you hit the enter, it is still in the pending, right? How do we know why it is pending? So what we can do is k describe. So what will happen if I type des, right, if I hit anything, it is not, or if I, let me put like this, I say like a kubectl this for describe, you're going to put this, hit enter, it is not auto filling, by the way, I'm hitting a tab, actually it's not auto filling. So what we can do is you can have a batch completion. I'm going to say, right, uh, so what we can do, we can actually go and if you come down, there should be some for batch completion here. So let me show it to you. Okay, batch completion, yeah, this one. You can run this one, bash completion. So what will happen is it should basically complete actually. So if I okay, kubectl, so echo source, okay, just like that, I'm going to exit and again come back. Okay, so now I'll say like k I think I need to type kubectl. See, it is autofilling, check it out. Okay, let me tell you, kubectl, if I say G E is autofilling, P O is autofills. Okay, get pods hyphen a, you can get it. Okay, this is how what you can do is you can basically enable. But if you want to autofilling, right, you need to use the complete kubectl. If I try to, it won't work, by the way. Okay, so anyway, so still if I say like k get pods, and I can see still it is pending. Why? If I say like k describe pod, I can say like if I go to this pod one, it is clearly going to say, see, default scheduler 0/1 nodes are available, node 1 node has attained. See, because by default nobody can actually run on a master, means you need to have a special permissions to run on the master. That is why pods won't be scheduled on the master. So how you can actually make things work on a master? It's very simple. First of all, k get nodes, right? So I'm going to go to the node k describe node, and I'm going to give this. So you're going to get all the details of the node, and one important thing here I want to see is the labels, by the way. I can basically come to the labels, and here, or not labels, by the taints actually, you see this, it is saying node role master is equal to no schedule. Can I basically remove this? Okay, let's try. Okay, I'm going to say k taint node, and node is IP hyphen 10.10.1.44. And what I'm going to do is, if I'm going to give sorry, oh sorry, I gave okay guys, sorry guys, ku, sorry, k get nodes, I gave full stops actually. Okay, okay, I'm going to give this. Okay, so you see this, what I did was I would k taint node and I said master no schedule minus actually. If I said minus, what I'm going to do is k describe, sorry, k describe node, and I'm going to get this node. And what I'm going to do, if you go little up right, I want to see the taint actually, and taints are none. The moment I remove this taint, k get pods, you should see it is running. Okay, why? Because taints are something like which will not allow unless that unless there is a toleration. Basically, we're going to talk later, but by default it won't run on the master. If you remove the taint, it will run on the master. Okay, good. But if you see, if I want to delete it, I'll say k, k. Okay, see, it's very getting very annoying for me to use only k. I'll do one thing, alias ku is equal to kubectl, because it's a habit for me. I use ku actually, because the keys will be next to each other, right? Diagonally, ku will be next to each other if you see on the keyboard. Okay, ku get pods, I can see is running. So ku delete pod 1, and we're done, gone. It is gone, by the way. Okay, good. So next step is ku get nodes. I can see like only 2 nodes. Let's deploy additional 2 more nodes, by the way. So I'll go here, I'm going to launch an instance, and same thing, I'm going, sorry, my AMI is there, yeah, my AMI is there, which is a nodes. I'm going to use my AMI, which we created it. I think for nodes you really don't need to have 2 CPUs. T2 micro is fine, but I'm going to select T2 small, by the way, to accommodate more pods. And I'm going to give here, I'm going to put on the same subnet. Okay, and I'm going to add storage, add tags, name, I'm going to say k hyphen node hyphen 01. So add security group, finish it. Okay, let it come. Meanwhile, I'm going to deploy one more. I could have done at the same time, but anyway, I forgot. Okay, again the same. Again, I'm going to use, for example, it's always recommended use same type of machines. Don't try to interchange. One is 8 GB, one is 4 GB. It's unnecessary, cause issues at scheduling. That's why. Okay, T2 small is fine. The reason I'm selecting this one is sometimes even you enable the subnet setting, the IP address is not assigning. That's why. So add storage, add tags, name. I'm going to say like a k node hyphen 2. Okay. So next, security group. Okay, good. So anyway, let's log into the first node, by the way. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to say excellent. So okay, so we already bootstrap it, right? You know, right? kubectl, we already have it, so we don't need to do anything. For now, I'm going to say like swap, or let's leave the swap and try to run it. So what I'm supposed to run it, I don't need to run anything. I only need to run basically this one actually. Kubeadmin join is there, right? You are supposed to basically kubeadmin join, and it should basically do that. So let's try to do one thing. Okay, I'm going to copy, go here. Okay, So it's running the pre-flight checks. So let's see what it is going to see. And the kubelet